Do you know the meaning of the saying "Pa'lante como los de Alicante"? If you're from the English-speaking world, then maybe not, but you should. It means forward, like the people of Alicante. In Spain, this popular saying defines the people of Alicante by their drive, determination, and spirit. Historically, this port city on the Costa Blanca has faced many struggles, be they due to war or economic issues, but the people of Alicante have persevered with their heads held high and pressed forward. The late 1950s and 60s were a transformative time for the city. The growth of global tourism drove holidaymakers to locations like Alicante, which enjoyed beautiful climates year-round. The local economy benefited greatly from well-funded construction projects, such as hotels and complexes, that accompanied this increase in tourism, and in turn, the extra visitors drove an increase in the number of wonderful restaurants, bars, and cafes Alicante has to offer. At the heart of Alicante is an energy, a culture and identity that has persevered through the growth of the tourism here. The idyllic and Instagrammable paved streets of the Barrio de Santa Cruz lead you on a path around the mountain at the centre of the city, Monte Benecantil. The ancient castle Castillo de Santa Barbara sits on the peak. The castle is visible from everywhere in the city, whether you're soaking up some sun at the beach or shopping for fresh, local produce in Alicante's Mercado Central. With neighbours like the infamous Benidorm, I had a few assumptions about the nature of the tourism in the city, and I couldn't have been more wrong. The real, authentic Alicante is here and waiting for you, and I could feel it from the moment we landed. The city of Alicante is only around 1,260 miles from London. To get there, we chose the way you'll also most likely be using, which is to fly. We flew from Gatwick Airport, so to start our trip in style, we booked ourselves into a lounge. It was good to have some time and space to unwind, and the Wi-Fi was really good, and the unlimited food and drink didn't hurt either. If you fancy a more chilled out start to your holiday, check out the lounges in the Holiday Extras app. Alicante has its own airport, so getting in is easy. A flight from Gatwick to Alicante takes only around 2.5 hours, then the airport is just a 20-minute drive away from the town centre. Our recommendation? Book yourself a private transfer or taxi. The door-to-door service is the most hassle-free option. Alternatively, you can take the C6 bus from Alicante Airport into the city, which arrives every 20 minutes throughout the daytime or once an hour from midnight to 5 am, and it only takes 20 minutes. We wanted to soak in as much of the Alicante experience as we could, so we're doing most of our exploring by foot. Many of the best sites in Alicante are actually all within walking distance of one another. Alicante is full of energy, so it's no surprise that this city attracts party people, stag do's and hen nights. But if you know where to look, it's also serene, picturesque and a history lover's paradise. So one of our top tips is that Google Maps is a godsend when you're planning your public transport and stuff like that, because all of the trams and the buses and everything are all listed on there. So if you need to get over to a beach or if you need to visit Benidorm, you can plan your entire journey in Google Maps. So on our first morning in Alicante, we made our way over to the Castillo de Santa Barbara to get the best views over Alicante. On our way there, we passed the Playa del Postiguet, or Postiguet Beach, and naturally we had to stop to enjoy it. One of Alicante's most popular beaches, it's only a short walk from the town centre and is renowned for the quality of the sand and the gorgeous palm tree boardwalk. It's also known for being one of the best beaches for recreation. There are loads of kids' playgrounds, swings and sports areas. It's very close to the old quarter of Alicante and the flat layout makes it very accessible, so it's very popular with the tourists. Conveniently for us, it's also located right across the road from the elevator up to the castle, which climbs directly up the middle of Monte Benecantil, or Mount Benecantil, and into the castle grounds. So for just €2.70 a person, there's actually a lift that will take you to the top of the Castillo de Santa Barbara. And it is incredibly hot today, as you can probably see, so we're going to do that and I'll see you up the top. Pensioners or those with difficulty walking can use the elevator for free, which is awesome. But some tips in advance. The castle in general is accessible, but some of the ramps and inclines within the castle grounds get very steep. So if you're determined to go higher, the climb might get quite difficult. So we're starting our first day in Alicante here at the Castillo de Santa Barbara, which has some of the most incredible views over Alicante, and it's free to enter. but you can pay €3 for a tour if you want to learn a bit more about the history of the castle. The Castillo de Santa Barbara stands on top of Monte Benacantil at around 166 metres high and is one of Spain's largest medieval fortresses. As you can probably tell, the building is soaked in a rich history. There's evidence of Roman, Iberian and Bronze Age inhabitants, but the castle's origins are in the 9th century, so the castle has been watching over Alicante for well over 1,000 years. At the height of summer in July and August, it's open from 10 AM until midnight. In the winter months, from October to March, it closes at 8 PM, and every other month in between, it closes at 10 PM. So we're up at the very top of the castle now, hoping that we'll get some even better views over Alicante. Make sure you get here early, because it's super popular and it fills up really quickly. We were at the lift 410, and there was already a queue. You can see almost all of Alicante. It's crazy. The Castillo de Santa Barbara blew us away. Everywhere you go, you're met with more history, and being at the highest point in the area means that every corner of the castle has another stunning view over Alicante and a brand new perspective. We could have sat atop the castle walls and enjoyed the scenery all day, but we had someone to meet in the city centre and I couldn't wait to talk to her about Alicante. We decided it was time for us to make our way down the mountain. So we're here at the height of July and it's well into the 30s. And a top tip from us, if you want to make the walk up the side of the mountain to the Castillo de Santa Barbara, is to make sure that you stay super hydrated and cover yourself in sun cream, because there's not a lot of shade on this walk. I think we've done it the right way by getting the lift up and then walking back down, because we didn't have to miss out on these incredible views. Although the scorching weather made it feel like a little longer, it is just a short 20-minute walk from the castle back down into the town. Once we were back on the streets, we headed to the Mercado Central to meet Maria of Free Walking Tours Alicante to talk about the wonderful history, food and culture that Alicante has to offer. Mercado Central means Central Market and is Alicante's main market hall. Dating back to the 1920s, it was designed by Enrique Sánchez Sedeno. The Central Market is a big, modernist-inspired building containing 2 floors. One of those is a basement due to the slopes of the surrounding streets. Here you can buy all kinds of food typical to the local region. Meat and fish, veg, nuts, fruit, and of course delicious Mediterranean oils. Here, Maria explained the origins of some of Alicante's signature foods.
The main problem we had in Alicante through history has been water.
Oh,
we have no water.
Yeah.
So no water, no food, no...
Yeah.
So that was the main problem
Yeah.
here. But traditionally what we had here was
Yeah.
fish.
Ah.
And salted fish, because
Yeah,
we didn't have
yeah.
ice to keep it. So that's why the salted fish.
To preserve it.
Yeah.
Right, of course.
So traditionally all the gastronomy
Yeah.
we had was very dry.
Right.
Almonds and things
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, lovely. Take a go at this.
Salud.
Cheers. Yeah, salad.
Cheers.
Even with a dry gastronomy, the food here is full of bright colours and amazing smells. Most of the stalls here in the Mercado Central are family run and have been passed down through generations. Everyone knows everyone. The market has a life of its own and everyone is welcoming, friendly and all too keen to impress.
Welcome to Alicante. Alicante is very beautiful. Hello. It's good fish. My name is Bruno. Algo, por lo menos, algo.
Perfect. He's after my job. I've got to say, the passion here in the market was infectious and I left in a great mood. By shopping here in the local market, you're also supporting local farmers and providers, rather than giving your money to a hotel chain or a big corporation. So the currency in Alicante is the euro, and in the central market here, everything is priced so you know exactly what everything's going to cost. We would recommend loading up a FairFX card before you leave, which you can book via Holiday Extras, as everywhere here accepts card as well. We've been really impressed with the Mercado Central. The building is really impressive and the food was just delicious. It's open from 7 AM to 2:30 PM Monday to Friday and until 3 PM on Saturdays. If you can, you should come here on a Saturday afternoon and you'll really see it come to life. Local people in Alicante enjoy something they call tardeo, which is a party that has a chilled out start in the afternoon and then rolls into the evening. We were visiting on a weekday, so we didn't get to enjoy a taladeo of our own, but Maria had a fantastic local restaurant to show us, where we could enjoy some of the best local cuisine Alicante has to offer. And we've come to a local restaurant called Treinta y Tantos, which serves locally sourced food and stuff like that. And whilst we're waiting for our food, we just thought we'd go for a little bit of language.
Yeah, sure.
So how would you say hello?
Hola.
Hola, which I think is a pretty common one, isn't it? A lot of people know to say hola. And how about how are you?
¿Qué tal?
¿Qué tal? Lovely. And is that that's a more formal way of saying it? Is it?
¿Qué tal is more informal.
Informal.
Yeah, when you want to, you'll say ¿Cómo estás?
Yeah.
Like how are you, literally, like
And
¿Cómo estás?
that's more emotional, is it, to say ¿Cómo estás?
Yeah.
Like you're more concerned, whereas in
Yeah.
passing you might say ¿Qué tal?
Yeah.
Okay. How would you ask? How much does this cost?
¿Cuánto cuesta el agua?
Cool. So it's ¿Cuánto cuesta? In a similar kind of vein, how would you ask for the bill if you were in a restaurant or something
La
like
cuenta,
that?
por favor.
La cuenta, por favor.
The
Okay.
international, it also works.
Yeah. And then por favor is please. Yeah.
Please.
So if you say la cuenta, por favor, the bill, please.
Please,
Okay.
yeah.
And what other kind of phrases do you think people might find useful visiting Alicante?
¿Una cerveza, por favor?
Well, we all know that one, which I believe is a beer, please.
Yeah.
Perfect. I think that's the only sentence I need to know, really. And how about where is the beach?
¿Dónde está la playa?
¿Dónde está la playa? Perfect. So now we know how to get beer, we know how to find the beach.
You have everything you need.
Yeah. Do you have any other sort of favourite phrases or anything like that?
There is a sentence that is used all around Spain that says para adelante como los de Alicante.
Para adelante como los Alicante.
Yeah, that was very good.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That means something like go forward, keep going, as the Alicante people do.
People from Alicante are known for being hardy and hardworking and
It's history.
Yeah.
Like through history, we had a lot of problems: lack of water, lack of food, many wars. So we always kept on
Keep going.
Yeah, and
Oh, fantastic.
also the motto of this city is in Catalan, it's in Valencian, it's not in Spanish, and it says La millor terra del món, which translated to be something like the best land in the world. So we are happy,
like
but
that.
also proud.
Yeah. So although times were hard, people were like, we still know this is the best land
is
in the
the
world.
best land in
Yeah.
the world.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Do you have any other sort of favourite?
The most important of all, bienvenidos a Alicante.
Bienvenido a Alicante. What does that mean?
Welcome to Alicante.
Welcome to Alicante. Oh, perfect. So, tell us a little bit about what we've got on the table now.
We have, this is a pericana. Pericana is made with a small flat pepper that we chop. It's dry, so it's something very typical from here. And then the other is salted fish, capellan, and tomatoes, and olive oil, of course. These are meat sausages from a town called Pinoso, which is a town in Alicante region as well.
Yeah.
And cheese, and this is like a jelly, tomato jelly.
Oh, I see,
something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah, that we have with cheese. It's quite nice.
Oh, nice.
And this is like a modern coca. We call coca to everything which is on a pastry, basically.
Right. Yeah.
So Alicante was very poor, so we didn't have lots of ingredients. So we had pastry and then things on top.
Yeah.
Whatever we had.
Anything else that would go on it.
whatever
Yeah,
we had
yeah.
at that moment. So things on top.
Yeah.
So this is like cheese. The pepper and the onion is cooked in a way that when they are together, we call the escalivada, which is another,
Yeah.
like a roasted salad.
Right.
kind of.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
And then anchovies. So we love anchovies here.
Lovely.
In Spain, we always have bread.
With everything to dipping.
Yeah.
Right.
We love
Oh,
bread.
perfect. Oh, well then let's get stuck in.
Ready?
'Cause I'm starving. Yeah. Everything was fresh and deliciously salty, the dried fish especially. I'd never tried anything like it, and it had such a strong flavour. The centrepiece was a delicious rice dish made with the freshest seafood.
Tourism is our main industry nowadays. I think about the 80% of the population works in services in general,
Right,
and
yeah.
hospitality is a huge
Yeah,
income
yeah.
for us. But it's important for us, so people can enjoy with us. We want to transmit that local touch, that local feeling. We want to make people comfortable,
Yeah,
welcome, so they like our city as we do.
Yeah, of course. Brilliant. We were all so full after such a hearty lunch that Maria took us for a walk down through Plaza Gabriel Miro to settle our stomachs. It was a quiet nearby park that was canopied by enormous trees and centered around a beautiful fountain. As we walked, Maria spoke to us about the importance of tourism to the people of Alicante. So a lot of the businesses that you've shown us today they're local businesses or they use local ingredients, and is that an important part of how you choose what makes it onto the free walking tours?
I think it's the most important. I want to show people the local food, the local businesses.
Yeah.
I want to show them how we live. I want to show them how the city is. I want to show people the Alicante I love, the Alicante the locals love.
Yeah.
And sometimes, with the main chains, they're only showing what they want to sell.
Right.
But it's important for us to make people feel welcome, comfortable, so they want to come back. And for that, they need to know us.
Yeah.
Not the tourist traps.
Yeah, exactly. Maria's passion for Alicante is so infectious, it was impossible not to get wrapped up in it. We can't recommend her walking tours enough. She was fantastic company, answered all our questions, and knew all the best places to visit. You can learn more about her walking tours by visiting freewalkingtoursalicante.com. As our time together came to an end, Maria gave us some parting wisdom about our next stop, Calle San Francisco, also known as San Francisco Street. It's a vibrant area full of great bars, restaurants, and shops. It also happens to be right next door to the marina. The promenade, La Explanada de España, is an elegant boulevard covered in red, black, and cream tiles, 6.6 million of them to be exact, that depict the waves of the Mediterranean. Perfect for a leisurely walk to browse the handmade crafts at the local stalls and sit in the sun outside one of the many cafes to soak up the atmosphere here at the heart of Alicante. This is the Calle de San Francisco, or San Francisco Street, also known as Mushroom Street, which were put here because the street wasn't getting a whole lot of tourists. It didn't look very pretty, and you can see them all the way down the street actually. There's loads of them. So what they did was installed this very pretty floor and these really sort of weird mushrooms, and it attracted loads of people. It's been really great for the local businesses. I loved these big mushrooms. What a weird and wonderful way to draw people to this part of Alicante. Some of them you can climb in, some of them were just really huge. If you do one weird and wonderful thing in Alicante, make sure you visit this part of the Calle San Francisco. Great fun for kids too. With the day closing in and having topped up on weirdness, we thought we'd find a bit of beauty instead. Heading back in the direction of the castle, we took a peek at one of the most picturesque areas in Alicante, Barrio Santa Cruz. It's the end of day one, and we're here in the beautiful Barrio de Santa Cruz, which is like the old town. It's one of the most beautiful parts of the city, and probably one of the most Instagrammable as well. And although it looks quiet and quaint now, it's actually the centre of the nightlife once the later evening rolls in. But for now, we're just going to enjoy a leisurely stroll and unwind after a really long and very hot day's work. Barrio Santa Cruz means Santa Cruz neighbourhood, but here they just refer to it as El Barrio, as the word is synonymous with this area. Wear sensible shoes as there's lots of cobbled streets and some steep steps, but the little houses and historic architecture is really worth a look. Following a tip that Maria had given us earlier in the day, we visited one street in particular where you can see La Cara del Moro, or the face of the Moor. Look closely and you'll see the face of a man in the rocks of Mount Benacantil above you. When you're here, take a walk through the barrio and see if you can spot La Cara del Moro. Taking a stroll through one of the prettiest parts of the city was the perfect way to wind down at the end of a long and busy day. We were already so impressed with Alicante, but now it was time to head back to our apartment and get a good night's rest. We had just as much planned for day 2, and I couldn't wait. Before we head into day 2, here's a look at how the Holiday Extras app can help you on your trip to Alicante. Have all of your trips in one place with the new Holiday Extras app. View and update your details, have paperless bookings that also work offline, and book all of your holiday extras, from parking to hotels and car hire through to insurance. Yesterday, we showed you the hustle and bustle the city of Alicante has to offer, and today, we're trying something a bit different. After a good night's rest, an iced coffee, and a breakfast of some lovely pastries, the crew and I have hired a car for the day to drive out to Fuentes del Algar, the Algar waterfalls. It's about a 45-minute drive away, and I've got to say, it might be the most beautiful drive I've done yet. It boasts some pretty spectacular landscapes. You might be surprised to see some strong figures standing on the hilltops around you. This is El Toro de Osborne, or the Osborne Bull, and there are around 90 of them all across Spain. These bulls used to be billboards, or should we say billboards, that advertised the Osborne Sherry Company. In 1994, the new laws that banned roadside alcohol advertising meant they had to be torn down. But the billboards had become a national symbol, so to save them, they were painted black to hide the advertising underneath. Bull puns aside, the drive to Fuentes del Algar is truly breathtaking. Our top tip once you get there is to park further downhill, as it does get a lot more expensive the further uphill that you park. So after spending yesterday exploring Alicante town, we've come here to the beautiful Fuentes del Algar, which is a collection of waterfalls. It costs just €5 to get in, and you can actually swim in them as well. So I can't wait to jump in. It's boiling hot. I'll see you down there. It really is a paradise here, and we'd thoroughly recommend doing the full 1.5 kilometre walk. There's loads of waterfalls, springs, and pockets of natural beauty that deserve to be seen. Awesome rock formations trail the landscape, and the climate here makes for some perfect conditions to grow lavender, thyme, and fruit. Fuentes del Algar really is an assault on the senses. The sight and smell of the gorgeous flowers, the sound of the running water. The route along the river's edge really was like walking into another world. There are loads of different pools to take a dip in. You'll get used to it quickly, but be warned that initial plunge is freezing. There's also a jumping platform where you can jump from the rocks into the water below. Our cameraman Guid couldn't resist having a go. We couldn't miss the chance to swim up to the Cascada Principal, or the main waterfall of Fuentes del Algar. It's probably the most well known and most photographed of them all, and it's known for featuring on television shows and also adverts. We couldn't take all of our camera equipment, but we did take our waterproof 360 camera. Check the link in the description to watch that. This place is completely unmissable, but my tip would be to get here very early. It can get really busy here, and the experience is so different when you're alone with it, even if it's just for an hour or so. So it's time to leave Fuentes del Algar, and it was beautiful. The water was nice and cold, jumping in was really fun, the area was beautiful, but we're gonna hop back in our hire car, head back to Alicante and see ourselves some beaches. Beautiful sandy beaches are plentiful in Alicante, and as much as I would have loved to, we couldn't visit them all. But we chose two of the best today, Playa de San Juan and Playa de la Almadraba. While the distance was walkable, we wanted to save more time for the beach, so we decided to take the tram. So when you get to a tram station in Alicante, you'll see one of these lovely machines, and in the top left is a little button to change the language. Where we're going to be within the same zone. It's got zones like London. It's called the Metropolitan Zone. The station that we want to get to the beach is Mucha Vista. So we'll choose a Metropolitan ticket because we're not leaving the Metropolitan Zone. The amount of travellers we have with us, and for me and the lovely cameraman here, it's $2.90. But be aware, even though Alicante has zones like London, the Metropolitan ticket isn't a travel card, and you will need to buy another Metropolitan ticket for your return journey. The tram runs adjacent to the coastline, so it turned out to be the perfect choice. It gave us a chance to cool down and to enjoy some pretty incredible views. So this is one of our favourite beaches, Playa de San Juan, and it's gorgeous. It's so sandy, it stretches for miles, and it's just 20 minutes out of Alicante as well on the tram. There are tram stations all the way down that pathway that you can see there, so it brings you right here, and it's just perfect. We were very lucky to find that there wasn't many people here when we visited, which gave us a chance to really appreciate it with a calming walk in the waves. But trust me, it isn't always like this. It can get super busy here at Playa de San Juan. We're lucky to be here on a weekday, but at the weekends, and especially in peak season, it can get super busy. So we're going to take you to a beach that's just a short tram ride away, a gorgeous little place called La Almadraba. We took the tram along the coastline again, heading to a much smaller, quieter beach known as La Almadraba. It's picturesque, relaxing, and the waters are nice and calm. La Almadraba is the perfect beach to enjoy a romantic stroll, listen to the calming waves, and enjoy the incredible view of the sunset. After such a long and scorching day, cooling off by the sea as the sun set behind the hills in the distance was, for me, one of the highlights of the trip. This alone would have been the perfect end to our time here. But all work and no play makes Jake a dull boy, so we decided to end another amazing trip by celebrating in style, with a trip back to Barrio de Santa Cruz. After winding down at La Almadraba, the lively atmosphere of the Barrio felt even more alive. The atmosphere is totally different when the night rolls in. Locals and tourists all gather together to eat and drink and sing. Getting in the mood, we thought a couple of cervezas was the perfect way to end such a fantastic trip. So unfortunately, our time in Alicante has come to an end, and I wish we had more time here because it's been amazing. I'll admit, when we first got here, I did kind of think that it would be a bit of a tourist trap, especially with it being so close to Benidorm, but it's just been great. And the food, the people, the culture, I've been blown away by everything. And yeah, I really hope you get a chance to experience Alicante for yourself. But until next time, salud!